Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel 300 Bod. Today I'd like to take a look at the Atari 400 personal computer. This particular unit I've owned for over 25 years now. The Atari 400 computer has a lot of sentimental value to me because it's the first model or type of computer that I ever used. When I was in elementary school, around 4th or 5th grade, the school got two computers. They went to the math teacher's room because they felt that that was the most appropriate location to have a computer because they're kind of mathy. And we had the Atari 400 and we also had an Apple II. I used the Atari 400 because the Apple II had Castle Wolfenstein. So I'd stay after school to play with the computer. The Atari 400 was typically available because the most exciting game they had for this particular machine was probably darts. And they had some language programs like learning how to speak Spanish and things like that. But what interested me was the ability to give the computer instruction and have it do what you want it to say. To me, was just the most fascinating thing. So while other kids were busy playing Castle Wolfenstein, trying to escape the Nazis, I was typing in sample programs from the programmer's manual into the computer to try to learn how this wonderful machine worked. So with all that behind us, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the box. Now, this one's a little bit ratty, but it still will show us kind of what to expect if you were looking at the Atari 400 on the shelf. And then we'll take a look at what I got packaged with this computer, because I honestly don't remember what all I have, because it's been so long since I've ever done anything with this machine. And then we'll plug it in and see if this computer still works. Honestly, I don't know, so why don't we find out together? Well, let's start by taking a look at this box. As you can tell, the condition's a little rough. I do have the original price on here. Unfortunately, I can't really make it out, but it says that it was $199.88, and then it says now. And unfortunately, that part of it's scratched away, and then there's a yellow sticker over top of it. So whatever the price had been marked down to, it looks like it had been marked down one more time. On the front, we've got a nice picture of the Atari 400 and huge Atari, label going across the front. On the front corner here, we've got, again, it says the Atari 400 home computer. And over here on the corner, it's probably a little hard for you to see, but it says, "You don't have to be a wizard to enjoy the wizardry of computer technology. With an Atari 400 computer system, all you need is the Atari 400 home computer, an Atari starter kit, and any television set to get into action fast." So that's kind of interesting. I've never read that before. And then, let's see, over here, just again, it says the Atari 400 computer. We've got the silver that was very popular on Atari products from the early 1980s. And here it says the same exact thing, nothing creative there. And on this side, nothing special, just says Atari again with the Atari 400. So taking a look at the bottom of the box, unfortunately mine's been ripped out, and I can't really make out any of the text on the left side of the box. But over here, we do have some information on the various starter kits that were available. So we have the entertainer, the communicator, the programmer, and the educator. I would imagine one of the more popular ones would have been either the entertainer, which came with some games, a couple of joysticks, or the programmer here, which came with the basic programming language. So let's go ahead and open up the box and see what's on the inside of this box. So the cardboard box is a little rough, but the styrofoam is in really good condition. And taking a look at the inside, we got a beautiful Atari 400 computer. It's got some kind of sticker on it. It says DOM. And let's see if the door opens. A lot of these Ataris, I believe the plastic is like glued onto this section here. So sometimes when you pop them open, this will just go flying. In the case of this one, it's still glued in place, so that's good. And I also have another sticker in here that says DOM. The keyboard looks like it's in really nice condition. I've got the original power adapter here. So this is a part number CA017964. It has a output of 9 volt AC, 3.4 amps. I also got the switch box here. So that's a CA014746. Yeah, just take a look at the inside. It looks like it's all like brand new. I don't think this has ever been used. I don't know if the computer's been used or not, but it is in really good condition. All right, taking the computer out, set that to the side. Looking at the RF cable, it looks like it's never been taken apart. Here we've got a couple of books. We've got the Atari Home Computer Catalog, very nice. I think we'll take a better look at this catalog towards the end. I've got a offer for a free Atari Connection magazine. Oh, you gotta register your computer and turn it in within 10 days of purchasing. So that was not done in this case. Yep, it's all original. Everything's there. Got to write down the serial number. And here is the owner's guide for the Atari 400. We'll take a look at that here in a bit. And that's everything. All right, here's the Atari 400 owner's guide. I really dig the silver color with the rainbow Atari logo there. And that's just a beautiful picture of the Atari 400 keyboard zoomed in. So they were definitely very proud of this design. Here, let's just take a look at the first couple of sentences. Not long ago, computers were large, complicated to use, and priced well beyond the reach of most people. Today, you own a computer that's small, affordable, and easy to use. In fact, you don't even need to know how to program to enjoy the Atari 400 personal computer, because dozens of programs are already available. Education and game programs, personal development programs, and many more let you begin using your computer as soon as you unpack it. Pretty cool. So let's see what they've got in here. So here's some of the packs that were available when the Atari 400 and 800 released. The computers themselves, I don't think they came with any software at all, at least not in my pack. So when you bought the computer, you'd probably want to buy one of these packs. So the Entertainer pack came with 2 joystick controllers and the Star Raiders game. They also say that you've got many other exciting games such as Asteroids, Space Invaders, Super Breakout, 3D Tic-Tac-Toe, Video Easel, Basketball, and Computer Chess. Now, I couldn't say that 3D Tic-Tac-Toe or Video Easel would be exciting, but, you know, kind of cool. The programmer, looks like the programmer came with your basic cartridge and the manual for the basic. The communicator came with the this box that had to plug into the Atari 400 because there's only one connector on the side. The communicator can tap into some of the biggest electronic brains in the world. Get the news hot off the wire or have the communicator print your stock prices right on your TV screen. So that's kind of cool. So the communicator comes with the Telelink cartridge, the Atari 850 interface module, and the Atari 830 acoustic modem. So this was a pretty cool thing. You would actually take your phone receiver and press it down on these cups, and that's how the modem would talk, was through your actual telephone. So the interface module, I think I've ever only seen one of these once. I'm not sure what all it does, but I think it just expands out the one single port you have on the Atari 400 and 800 computers so that you can plug in multiple devices such as disk drives and so forth. The last pack that's available was the Educator. The Educator looks like it came with the program recorder, so you can save your programs. The basic cartridge, states and capitals. Yeah, so interesting. So moving on. Oh, here's a beautiful picture of the Atari 400. So we've got the cartridge door, the cartridge release, joystick controller jacks, the power indicator, the power jack, the power switch, and the connector as they refer to it. Here's how to set up your Atari 400 personal computer. I'm really surprised at how much time is spent on just the switch box alone. Interestingly, at the time, I don't believe there was such a thing as a video input or composite video jacks on most televisions at the time. Maybe they just started coming out, but the Atari 400 just has an RF cable out. Yeah, so how to insert cartridges and connecting other equipment. So pretty basic manual. Here's our free issue of Atari Connection. $3 retail when you mail in your owner's registration card within 10 days of purchase. So that was never done with this computer. So it's completely fresh. The last thing I've got here is the Atari Computer's product catalog. I absolutely loved reading Atari catalogs back in the day. Most of the time I spent reading the catalogs for the Atari 2600 video game console. But I did have a catalog for the Atari 8-bit computers back in the time when they had the XL series. Also like with the Atari brochures how you see the styles at the time. So this is very 1970s, late 1970s. So, yeah, just talking about what you can do with your Atari. It's an Atari 400 computer. It's designed to be used by just about anyone. Looks like they've got some examples of who anyone is. Oh, here we go. The Atari 400 home computer. So I don't believe Atari actually had a branded monitor, so they just kind of threw whatever at it. Here we've got our data cassette. Oh, now this is interesting. Here we got an Atari 400 ad. This is the newer style tape deck that was actually being designed for the Atari XL series. And we've got a plotter here, which is also an XL series device. Yeah, a couple paddles, joysticks, and the old-fashioned Atari cassette deck. And I would love to get my hands on one of these. I'm going to have to get one of these days. Here's the Atari 800. I actually have one of these. I'll be doing an unboxing on this computer. And here we got a full Atari 800 expanded out. We've got ourselves a dot matrix printer, nice television. This is not Atari. This actually looks like it may be a Sony television because of the three colors here. That looks like a Tridentron style or type lettering. Here's the Atari 810 disk drive. Really like to get one of those. Yeah. Oh, and this is kind of cool. This is the numerical keypad. So it's a CX85. So you plug that into your Atari to get a keypad. Here are the packs that we were looking at earlier. Oh no. Yep, more stuff. Here's a bookkeeper kit. Interesting. Home management, communications, telelink, bookkeeping, graphic, statistics, Atari word processor. Very creative. That's almost like Microsoft Word. My First Alphabet, Jungle House, States and Capitals. I actually played around with this in elementary school. We got an invitation to Programming 1 and Programming 2 and Programming 3. Wow, that's pretty cool. Touch typing, music composer, speed reading, Scram. This is, I think, kind of a game where you played with a nuclear power plant. I actually played around with these. This is conversational French, and they got German and Spanish and Italian. I think that the computer talked by playing the cassette forward, and then you would just play out of the speaker. Here we've got some games: Galaxian, Caverns of Mars, Defender, Star Raiders, Space Invaders, Asteroids, Missile Command, Pac-Man, Super Breakout, and Centipede, computer chess. Lots and lots of games. Here we've got more advertisements for Atari Basic and Atari Microsoft Basic. I've never seen the Microsoft Basic cartridge for the Atari computer. And we got advertisement for Quicks and ET, Dig Dug, information on the Atari 400, the Atari 800, and some plotters. Again, these are styled for the XL series. which does not look like it had been released quite yet at the time that they did this catalog. And that is it for the Atari catalog. So I'd like to power on my Atari 400. And I do have the original power adapter here, but it is in new condition. So I did dig through my stuff, and I found this older Atari power adapter. It's a different model number, so I went ahead and looked it up. And this is the original power adapter for the Atari 400. And it looks like they kind of beefed it up a little bit later. So these were probably burning out at a higher rate. So they probably upgraded the power supply. I went ahead and tested it with my multimeter, and it's reading a good solid 10.5 volts, which should be fine. All right, I'm going to try powering this computer on for the first time ever. Let's see what happens. I do have a red light. Oh, look at that. It says Atari Computer Memo Pad. Okay, so a little sticky. Here's system reset, and it is resetting. Let me try typing something. Yeah, I'm not getting any keys. So my memo keypad might have an issue. System reset works. That seems to be about the only thing that's working. Okay, so shift is making it go down. Nothing else is working except system reset. I'm not getting any key presses. So that's not working. Let's go ahead and pop a cartridge in and see if I get anything different. So here's the basic computing language. I'm going to put that in and see what happens. Love how it powers on when you close the door. So the screen says ready. And the keyboard's doing the same thing. Nothing is working but that. And I don't have any keys. No keys are working. Nothing except system reset. And the shift makes it go down. That is bizarre. All right, let's try a game. I'm going to use my very icky Epix 500XJ. I need to clean this thing. It's really gross. But it's a nice joystick because it has the micro switches, and it also happens to be right here for me to grab. So it says Pac-Man, press select for 2-player game. I don't know if select works. Oh yeah, the select works. None of these keys are working. Weird. And it says press option to change difficulty. Yeah, the difficulty changes, and then press start to start the game. So everything's working except the half the keyboard, or most of the keyboard. But the keys I need to play the game are working, so that's kind of strange. I have to say, this is a very nice version of Pac-Man. Plays a lot like the arcade. Looks a lot like the arcade. Pretty good stuff here. So that's a quick look at my boxed Atari 400 that I've had in my collection for probably 20 to 30 years. I likely bought this on eBay and never even tried it. So the faulty keyboard issues probably been with the computer for as long as I've owned it. So I do have another video that I'd like to do with this machine where I'm going to tear it apart, try to troubleshoot, find out what's going on, and hopefully have a working Atari 400 that I can play around with. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel. It's going to help this channel grow, and I'll be able to put out more content similar to this, hopefully better in the future. But until then, take care of yourself, and goodbye.